For my next annotated bibliography, I will be looking at an article on AMLE by Alyssa Betts called Using YouTube to Reach, Teach, and Differentiate. So this article really explores how using the internet and specifically YouTube can help students be more creative and collaborative, and it also helps teachers to differentiate. So right off the bat, Alyssa Betts dives into why using the internet, just blanket the internet, is important. She talks about how, students, we have to keep up with the times, and the students are on their computers and on the internet all the time anyway, so we might as well integrate it into our classroom. No need to reinvent the wheel or make them type on a typewriter or do things that used to be old and how we did them. Just because it's how we did them doesn't mean it's always the best way to do it, especially in the new modern age. So I think there is still value, obviously, in a good handwritten note. But, while you have these resources, YouTube and that kind of stuff, Alyssa Betts really feels like it's the thing to use, especially in a middle school classroom, because it's flexible and you can be creative and you can work together. So she really, Alyssa Betts understands, at least in her article, she shows that she understands that integrating technology into a middle-level classroom is really important for the development of the adolescents, and it's something that they're used to using and that they'll have to use in the future. And so she really focuses on she talks about different ways to use technology, but she focuses on how to use YouTube primarily. So for her, she uses YouTube for students. So she'll give, a lecture or whatever, they'll watch a video, and then she'll give notes, and then she'll say, go do these 3 things. And then the way she differentiates is there's 3 different videos, or she'll say, there's 3 main types of videos she uses. She says there's a say what, there's a need a little help, and what comes next. So a say what is a bulletin of oh, what are you talking about? Let's dive deeper into this. Need a little help is let me teach it a different way and see if this new way helps you understand. And then what comes next, it helps those students who are high achieving or move quickly through the lessons. It helps them kind of realize, see what's coming afterwards. So if I finished my, homework and everything for the day, I can go on to her YouTube and I can look at the what comes next, and then I can say, oh, look, I have a test next week. I can go ahead and start studying, or, oh, we're going to take notes on pronouns, or we've got homework coming up, or, here are some videos to further, this lesson, or to prepare you for the next lesson, or read this short article. It gives students who get done something else to do without actually penalizing students who aren't finished. So if you don't finish, you don't have to watch those videos, but if you are finished, you do, which I thought was a really fun way to keep them engaged. You're not just giving them a worksheet saying, oh, you're done, here's a worksheet, which is something I've talked about with iReady. Some of our kids have tested out, and what do you do about that? You just give them more work, busy work, and this is a fun way to keep it not busy work. And it's videos, right? And as you know, I'm a huge proponent for videos, so I feel like you can make them fun and exciting, and even if it's just you're popping on the screen and you've got a funny background, or they have to make a video response to something. And that way it lets them be creative, right? And they can work with a pair, which brings in collaboration. It requires them to move around and use a bunch of different resources. They can use print resources. They have to write a script or whatever. And it also makes it easy for them to access. If they don't have internet, obviously not as easy, but in school they should have internet. And they can go to a library or something, so that it's not, a bunch of paper, or you have to sift through documents or whatever. Excuse me. Oh, we do Schoology from McCracken, so instead of going through Schoology and then clicking our class and then clicking grammar and then clicking what's next, Alyssa Betts suggests that you have your class website, or for us Schoology, and in it you have a whole folder or a link to your teacher YouTube page, and here's all of the information for our teacher YouTube page. This is what we're going over, and it's dated really well or titled so that the students understand. And she also talks about it can be interdisciplinary, which I thought was a really cool idea, because if everybody had the same setup, the students would get accustomed to it and know what to expect. And so you could have a team YouTube page where people post, or links on a team website, the different YouTube pages for math, for science, for English, for social studies, which I think is really cool. Excuse me. Because, pardon me. Because if they finish math or science, and social studies. No, so social studies or science, because math and English have iReady. So for us, like, they could just keep doing iReady. But for social studies and science, they could say, all right, like, let's go on and do the YouTube, or, go look and see what Miss Rhodes or Miss Hart has up on their what's comes next page. Like, it gives them an outlet that's also, because iReady is all online, so this gives science and social studies, or would give science and social studies an opportunity to be online as well, and getting their kids interactive and collaborative and creative, all important. It's also, like, in the virtual world with the pandemic and everything, it kind of makes sense to have this platform where students can make videos and respond to videos. I know when I was virtual, in the class we took, we being Dr. Tuning and I, there are other people there, but the class I was in, Dr. Tuning taught, we were virtual, and so she had us doing, or at least I was, and she had us doing videos, and, Vimeo, I think is what it was called, and you, like, could respond to someone and say, wow, I think that was really creative of you, that's how impressive, and then they could respond to you, and so there was short little bursts. And so I guess on YouTube, you could comment, someone could comment on something, or they could create a video response or write a response to the video they watched or whatever. And you could hyperlink even, other videos. Like, I showed a video about adjectives. And if I have, like, my own YouTube page or, like, my own class website, I could say, like, oh, go check out YouTube. Here are some hyperlinks to other good videos that help you better understand adverbs and adjectives. So it doesn't have to be a video I made. It can be someone else's video that's helping students who need help to, like, get more resources and a different perspective of teaching. So it's not just me, like, cramming adjectives down their throat. And then the students who are, like, got adjectives and moving on, they can start watching videos on adjectives versus adverbs, or pronouns, or, participles and conjunctions and that kind of stuff to prep them for the next lesson. So her whole thing was, using it in the classroom. Like, you as a teacher are making these videos and using it as, like, a resource for students, with your videos, but also just to, like, not hang out, but to watch different videos that you haven't made, that you've suggested for them to make, or for them to make a video, right? I had students who wanted to make a movie, which is so cool. And I submit YouTube videos for my assignments, and I think that's a more raw way to gain an assessment, or to view an assessment, is to see someone talking about it. But she really hones in on how developmentally appropriate the collaboration and the creativity part are, I should say. And so that, to me, is what I was drawn to with this article, is how focused she was on making sure that, like, she explained that, the whole purpose of it is to differentiate between, like, the different students' needs. And so if you need to move forward, or if you need to hang back, if you need a little extra support, those videos are there to provide that support and, that looking forwardness. But overall, I really liked her ideas. I really liked the interdisciplinary idea, and having, like, one page with all the videos, or, one space students can look and see, like, your whole team, especially if you're going to do, like, a big end of the year project or something. Like, it'd be nice to have it all in one spot. But I really, I love when students can be, like, creative and work together and move around, not just sit in a seat. So I think it'd be cool if, if I was teaching, or, I am teaching grammar and parts of speech, I could say, okay, now that we've learned about nouns, I want you to go make a 2-minute video iMovie, where you only talk about nouns, right? Like, you describe nouns, you find nouns, make a little video about it, give them some criteria. And that could be a really fun formative assessment to see who's grasping the concept and who is not grasping the concept. So I liked this article. I felt like she addressed some pretty big words, I guess, when it comes to the developmental appropriateness of using YouTube and using online sources for middle level education. So, with that being said, I have gone way over my allotted time. So this was my second annotated bibliography. It is Using YouTube to Reach, Teach, and Differentiate by Alyssa Betts on AMLE, and it was a good article because she understood that you need to integrate technology into a middle level classroom, and that students need technology because it's something that they've grown up with and there's no reason to run from it. And so she talks about like this integration is important. Integrating technology is important because it helps students to better understand because they live in a technologically savvy world, and it helps to differentiate in that, you know, fast-paced students can keep going and those who need more help can find videos or be given videos that can help them. So yeah, that is article number 2.